Yo, what's going on everyone? Delta Gaming here, bringing another daily upload. I really hope you've all had a good weekend, or Saturday, or Friday, depending where you are in the world. Let me know in the comments down below if you are. Apart from that, to get into today's video, I'm not too sure what I'm going to be talking about. I'll just be talking about whatever comes to mind. One thing that I've got on my mind that bothers me is I'm worried that I may not be able to ever own my own home, as well as people around my age group who are in their late 20s or even early 20s. May not even have a chance because the wages just aren't matching up with the cost of housing, especially when it comes to like purchasing a house. For example, like in New Zealand we have a retirement fund called KiwiSaver, which can also be used to purchase a house, and based on what I've calculated, you can choose to put in from minimum 3% up to 10%, and then anything else you can put in yourself if you want to put an extra. And obviously you can't touch that until you're 65 unless it's for like a car or a house. When you contribute to KiwiSaver when you're working, your employer will match that. So if you're putting in 3%, your employer will match that. So then in total you'll have 6% into KiwiSaver each week. So 3% is like about $20 or something like that. And then your employer will put $20 in, so in total it's $40 a week. Or if it's fortnight pay, then it's about $80 a fortnight, which is like $160 a month. Okay, I've just done another quick calculation. I'm working $24 an hour. I'm putting 3% KiwiSaver, and then my employer matches that 3%, so that is $265.20 a month. And if you times that by 12, you get $3,182.40 per year, New Zealand dollars. And if you times that by 35, in 35 years, you will have $111,384 saved in 35 years. Just enough for a 20% deposit on a $500,000 house. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just on the calculation I've done based at $24 an hour. So if you want to save up for a deposit for a house that's worth $500,000, then it's going to take you 35 years saving with KiwiSaver. But again, I know KiwiSaver is used for retirement fund, but it's also used as well as your deposit for a house. And that's what my bank told me. They see a 10% deposit as a liability opposed to if you were to do a 20% deposit. So that's just what my bank told me last year when I talked to him about KiwiSaver and how that all works. Unless you have help from parents, or you've got a partner, or you're both earning like over 100k or 70 to 80k a year, and you've got to have a combined income of like 160,000 to 200,000 with you and your partner, then for an individual it can be very difficult because you just don't have that luxury, you know. So it can be very hard to get on the property ladder, and I think if I calculated even at 10%, it would still take 20 odd years to even get a 20% deposit. Did a calculation at what my wage would be on, and I calculated it would take about 10 years roughly just to get just a little over $100,000 saved up in KiwiSaver at 10% plus the employer matching at 10%. It would take about 10 years to get just over $100,000, about 106. You know, and if you want extra, if you don't want to just have the 20% deposit, you're going to have to save up a little more, an extra few years, to be able to have at least around 115, 120k. You're looking at least between 10 and 20 years to at least have a decent amount saved up for the deposit for your house. Plus any extra money you might want to buy furniture and all that stuff. And yes, I know you can save heaps of money for living with your parents like myself, and I know there are lots of people who are still living with their parents, especially in their mid to late 20s, or even obviously through late teens and early 20s. It seems to be more of a common thing these days, which is a good thing, but also I'm aware that other people don't have that luxury either, so they'll probably find it really hard to actually save any extra cash just because the cost of things are just way out of whack. You know, like over here in New Zealand, the average rental is probably around $500, $550 a week average. I could be wrong on that figure. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but it's around that price range, and that's a week. And if you're only on like $24-25 an hour, which is just $1 or $2 over minimum wage, you only bring home about what, $890, $900 something after tax. So if you're renting, most of your pay is going on rent. And if you have a car, which a lot of people obviously have, they still got to pay for gas, they got to pay for their registration and stuff like that, and any issues that they may have with said car. It's just things like that that add to extra costs. Then also you got people who have kids and family to look after, and they got to make sure that the kids are fed and they've got food on the table, etc, etc, and you got to pay the power bill, the internet bill and all that, or phone bill if you have any phone bills. And then by the time all those bills are gone, you might have $100 spare to yourself, maybe if you're lucky. Everybody's individual situation is different, so just bear that in mind. It's not everybody's situation is the same. Not everybody has that luxury of being able to stay at their parents. Another luxury that some people don't have is being able to have siblings or family members that are close with one another and they can trust each other 100% and be able to pull their money in to one bank. So then say we've got 3 people and they're making $25 an hour, 44 hours a week, then they can have take-home pay each week of $2,733 combined income in one bank account each week from all 3 incomes. And then that way I feel like you can at least get ahead as long as you have that trust there. That's another way some people can get ahead and be able to get on the property ladder, by just doing that and working together as a family. But yeah, as I said, only some people have that luxury. Otherwise you're still either with your partner or you're on your own, or you're with maybe a couple of good friends perhaps that you can build that trust with. But yeah, not everybody has that luxury, unfortunately. In my honest opinion, I think if you're wanting to get on the property market, especially if you want to buy your own house, I feel like you need to be earning at least over $30 an hour at some job, because if you're making 50k, yeah, you'll be lucky if you could even save enough to even get a mortgage at that point. Considering based on the calculations I've done on KiwiSaver for 20% deposit, it'll take 30 odd years, and that's stupid. Sorry everybody for the ramble, hope it wasn't too boring. It's just something on my mind I wanted to get off my chest a bit. So that does bother me a bit, that there's a chance I may not ever get on the property ladder, which is sad. But yeah, apart from that, I hope there is a possibility that us younger people will be able to get onto the property ladder, because I think we should be able to. There's no reason why we can't, and we just have to try our best. But yeah, no, apart from that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please leave a like if you did, and if you're new, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, I'll be back tomorrow with another daily video. It's been Dill's Game, everyone. Later. And I apologise for the lack of gaming. Later, everyone. Peace.